Hey fam, this week we will be covering the discussions which we witnessed in X over privacy chat apps and major hacks which rocked the industry. Apart from that, Mega ETH is also having its TG on April 30th, and more such news we have covered in this podcast. Welcome back to Block Talk.
I will fire Gary.
So, welcome back. Today, we are starting with a very important news that we have, and we are going to talk about secure messaging. And a lot of people are thinking about that just an app is encrypted or private, they are safe. So, let's talk about big names like Telegram, privacy haven. Like being a privacy haven, they say that it is not that much secure or private. So, what do you think about that?
In fact, Telegram has about 1 billion users as of now. And we all think that Telegram is the safest app that has end-to-end encryption, likewise WhatsApp. WhatsApp has, we have to have some identity for WhatsApp as well. We need to have a phone number, and in one application, if you open in one mobile phone, you can't use it in another mobile phone. There are some features like that. But in Telegram, we all think it is the safest, it has the encryption, but it's not like that. Telegram has encryption only with the users to the Telegram servers, but Telegram servers has the server key for it. So it is actually a plain text which is being sent all over from the users. So what is one way in Telegram is there is an option called secret chat. So we can use a secret chat that is an only option for the end-to-end encryption. And in Telegram, we also use the phone numbers for the identity. And yeah, so it is not a fully encrypted platform.
So, what do you think about Signal? And that's usually considered as a gold standard, right? So,
Yeah, I have seen many celebrity interviews which they claim that Signal is one of the best application for the encryption for the secret and privacy chat with which they use. And Signal, it has some features. Yeah, it is encrypted, but there is one drawback which it has. It also requires identity, which requires phone number. And the one more drawback is in notifications. It all has plain text, not the encryption format. So in particularly in iOS, the notifications are all in plain text. So if there is a law enforcement, or when there are criminal records that has to be get it from a particular user who's using Signal, if the user has turned on their notification in their mobile, it can be easily captured, it can be easily fetched if their notifications were turned on. So the notifications which stored in the mobile phone are not encrypted, it can be fetched easily. So there was a recent case where the criminal has been founded using Signal, and the notification message were easily got by the police. So the one tool which actually fetch these messages is called Celebrite. As I'm not wrong, I guess Celebrite. And yeah, and for the users notifications, if we toggle off, it'll be not user friendly. It will be a UX trade off this. So users will definitely need a notification, a preview to get messages. But if you want a security for the application which you're using, you might turn it off. Yeah.
So, what if we move from a centralized servers and phone numbers? So, what will be the peer-to-peer alternative for that, which will
Yeah.
be truly secure as
Okay,
well?
so there are alternatives for example, we have keep.io, but it is a closed source, and there are other open source as well, which has Jammy or Talks. Yeah,
Yeah, Jamie.
Jammy and Talks, which is open source, and it does not it is serverless as well. And there is an incredible tool which is Briar. Have you used it, Priyali? Briar.
No, I have to use them just to test out how they work. I'm not a regular user of those apps. Just for this podcast, I am trying out those features, and as you can see on the screen, you can also see how the UX looks, how's the onboarding process and all. Yeah.
Yeah, so Briar, it can be used for the high risk users who are the activists, and if they want their text to be serverless, it is actually connected through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Yeah. So these are some tools which can be used serverless, and even they can be accessed with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Yeah.
So what if I want something highly anonymous and maybe a little more user-friendly or scalable? Do you have some suggestions for that as well?
Yeah, there is an app called SimpleX Chat. So you can use it for the serverless, and which is highly anonymous, and it does not require user ID as well. So you can just use SimpleX Chat. Yeah.
Okay. The second cover-up we have is let's pivot to crypto security. So the first one is on April 18, 2026. The DeFi space was rocked by KelpDAO and rsETH exploit. So walk us through how the $292 million was stolen, and was this flaw in their smart contracts or anything else?
So there are many layers to this story because it was a really sophisticated hack from the infamous North Korean hacker group called Lazarus. And what actually happened in KelpDAO scenario is they use a bridge provided by LayerZero team with a 1:1 deviant support. What that means is they just have one verifiable network which will say whether a transaction is true or false. And Lazarus group had somehow infiltrated into their deviant network, got to know what kind of RPCs they use. There was 5 RPCs. They got those lists, and from those 5 RPCs, they compromised 2 of them, and the other 3 were DDoSed. So here the use of RPC is, those are the transaction detail providers who say whether a transaction has happened in a network or not. So by compromising 3 of them, the system had to fall back to ask the legitimacy of the transaction to 2 of the RPC nodes, and they gave out malicious results. The network, the deviant setup, they took those malicious inputs and said the transaction is legitimate, by which those guys minted around 116,500, like around 116K rsETH tokens, which is valued around $292 million, and they took those rsETH into Aave protocol. They used it as collateral and got Ethereum and wrapped Ethereum as loans. So the problem is those restaked Ethereum is not valid. It's a bogus. And whatever valid Ethereum they got, it created a very bad debt into the ecosystem. Around $180 million plus worth of bad debt was there. And because of this frenzy, people were also started to withdraw $13 billion worth of crypto from Aave protocol. It was a huge hit. And if you want to know what is KelpDAO is actually, you have to start from Ethereum itself. Like you can, so there are layers, like you can have Ethereum. If you want yield on it, you stake it into Lido, you get staked Ethereum, rsETH. You can take those rsETH and stake into EigenLayer for even more rewards. And even from EigenLayer, you can take the staked ETH inside EigenLayer and put it inside KelpDAO. So KelpDAO is the venue where you can stake your already staked Ethereum and get value out of it. And KelpDAO also provides you restaked Ethereum token. That's the token which was hacked. So all these layered loans cascaded into a bad loan, and this is how they hacked the system.
Was there like a response from the Ethereum founder for this hack?
Okay, so yeah, absolutely. Like Aave's founder Stani, Ethereum founder Vitalik, everybody will have an eye on it and will talk on it, but they did not have any direct commentary on the same, as I know. Who responded is some around 30% of the hacked Ethereum was sitting in Arbitrum. So Arbitrum has a security council of 12 members. They made an emergency mandate by which they proposed and governance DAO vote that these 30% of Ethereum should be logged and cannot be accessed by the Lazarus group. And that's around 30,000 Ethereum, which is a really good sum of money. Within 18 minutes of the hack, they did it. And remaining $175 million of funds were moved to Bitcoin via Thorchain and Umbra Privacy. tools.
With hundreds of millions in bad debt, and how are the affected users and lenders are going to be made whole? So what do you think?
So for this, Aave started a recovery mission called DeFi United, where they are requesting major DeFi protocols to donate or fund the recovery of the remaining remaining rsETH and make the depositors whole. So in this, if you see, the already major players have stepped up. Like Mantle has provided a loan up to 30,000 Ethereum. Aave DAO has pledged 25,000. Aave's founder Stani has personally put in 5,000 Ethereum. KelpDAO has donated 2,000 and the number is growing further. So around the recording, current figures are around 68,000 Ethereum have been donated into this DeFi United program.
Finally, it wasn't just smart contracts that was under fire this month, and Litecoin also suffered a major zero-day bug. So what exactly happened there?
Okay, so as per Litecoin's tweet, it suffered a denial of service attack that disrupted major mining pools due to a zero-day bug. The zero-day bug, they have not mentioned it yet, but zero-day in a sense means nobody has seen that bug before. It's a really new. So what is zero-day bug is actually a software bug which has never been encountered by any team, and it's the very first time people are seeing it. That's it. So because of the zero-day, there were some non-updated mining pool servers and they passed over some invalid MWeb transactions, Mimble transactions, and that transactions had transfers which minted illegal Litecoin and transferred them into DEXs. So the team saw it and they did an 13 block reorg. Reorg is in the sense, if you have a blockchain which is going in a certain direction, you split into another blockchain and try to overtake it. So by overtaking by 13 blocks, what you do is this split gets invalidated and all those transactions goes into null. So they nullified all the illegal invalid transactions and all the valid transactions were added in this new chain and the issue was solved.
So did the attackers get away with the funds?
No, attackers did not get away with any funds.
So how did the Litecoin discover that something was wrong and did correct itself?
Yeah. So here there was no admin access or centralized powers using their powers to rectify the mistake. Litecoin as a network itself corrected itself. So what happened over here is they had released an update priorly to update every mining node, but not most of the mining nodes have. Some mining nodes missed the updates. So they allowed the invalid MWeb transactions. Then after this, the valid nodes got to know it and the protocol itself performed a reorganization of the blockchain and the valid transaction got passed. And Litecoin also tweeted that whoever has not updated to latest version, please do update. And they have patched it in the miners. So this cannot be taken as a downtime. This is like a network, it's finding out a bug and patching itself over. This is a totally normal phenomenon to happen.
So from this episode, we can conclude that there were three different layers, but one reality that matters. That is, nothing is as secure as it sounds. So privacy app leaked through metadata, DeFi breaks down at the infrastructure level, and even networks rely on fallback mechanisms to stay intact. So don't trust labels like encrypted or decentralized. Look at how system actually behaves under stress. So with this, we are winding up on this episode. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to CoinDairy's Block Talk podcast and stay tuned for further crypto news. Bye.